used to live to great excess. I ate, drank, smoked, and snorted whatever I wanted. I was not kind to my mind or my body. So inevitably, 4 years ago, I had a total physical and mental breakdown. I weighed over 300 pounds. I had high cholesterol and cardiovascular issues. In the summer of 2013, I ended up in the emergency room. High levels of stress, plus cardiovascular symptoms, triggered a severe panic attack. Symptoms similar to that of a heart attack or stroke. It was the first of many attacks, until I was scarred from heart disease and had full-blown panic disorder. I saw many emergency rooms, doctors, and specialists over the next 3 years. I tried many medications and forms of cognitive behavioral therapy. Nothing worked. The most dangerous prescription was unfortunately the only one that made me halfway functional. I spent half a year through a cold-ass winter sleeping in my car. I wasn't able to sleep inside anymore, and I wanted to be able to drive myself to the hospital at any moment. I was unable to socialize. I could barely go out in public without heavy meds. I knew if I kept using them, they would cause permanent damage. I could not live like that. Over 3 years feeling like I was about to die. 3 years of hell. Then one day, after spending 3 hours in the parking lot building up the courage to go inside, I was in a grocery store. By chance, a book there caught my eye. It was called Gut. On a whim, I picked it up, not knowing what was inside. It was my first exposure to the microbiome. I learned if you take the bacteria inside a fat mouse and put it in a skinny mouse, that skinny mouse would become fat, even while eating the same diet. The reverse was also true. A fat mouse could become skinny by changing its gut flora. And if you take the microbiome of a mouse with anxiety and put it in a calm mouse, that calm mouse would get anxiety. And most important to me, vice versa. An anxious mouse would become calm, simply by altering the bacteria in its gut. Now, one does not simply alter one's gut flora overnight. Years of feeding the wrong bugs and killing them all en masse with excessive living takes a while to reverse. But I was determined to claw my way out of hell. Around the same time, I came across someone who had already escaped from hell. She had been on similar meds and more for her issues. She helped point me in the right direction to start reducing my use of the dangerous prescription. It took a year, give or take, of using less and less, but I managed to get off it entirely. I'm now medication free. At the same time, I learned all about how to stop feeding the bad bacteria and how to grow more of the good. I began eating food that was prebiotic and not antibiotic. Antibiotic. Literally against life. Toxic food is everywhere, creating toxic microbiomes in most of us. It took a year or more to slowly reduce the toxic foods and increase the prebiotic foods. All that sweet, greasy, salty, hyper-palatable toxic food is addictive as hell. Most addictive thing on the planet. It began a war for humanity's soul. As a side effect of changing my microbiome to more of the good and less of the bad, over those 3 years I lost over 165 pounds in weight. My cholesterol returned to normal levels. My cardiovascular symptoms were greatly reduced. I began sleeping better. A fog over my brain lifted. I didn't know how sick I really was until I began to get healthy. Boiling frog syndrome. You won't know how hot it really is until you jump out of the pot. I started meditating. Slowly my panic disorder became more manageable. I started to think maybe, just maybe, I wasn't about to die at any moment. That maybe I still had a purpose in life. Then one day, in deep meditation, I heard a voice. I heard trillions of voices. My microbiome began telling me what I had to do. It told me who I had to kill.